there, and welcome to my little office on the first day back after the holidays. I hope this finds you well. Heidi ho, my name is Lucas Simmons. I'm your holistic nutrition gal. This is the orientation call for the Good Food Network. It serves a couple of different ideas here. It's to give you a sense of what is happening in January over here at Shaluka, if you will. We're going to go through a couple of different things because I have some questions for you first off. And we're going to have a little slideshow in a little bit as well because this face is okay, but there's a limit. So listen, I'm a holistic nutrition practitioner. I'm based in The Hague in the Netherlands. Happy to be coming your way, landing in your inbox, catching you on YouTube, wherever the case may be. I'm glad you're here. I got a couple of things I want to talk about today. Why your biochemistry is not broken, it is overmanaged. I feel like I'm adding to the very cacophonous noise that's already out there. But really, your biochemistry is not broken, it is potentially overmanaged. This is a theme that I am seeing across the board in a lot of the people I serve, in addition to the people who are reaching out for support. And it's really quite an interesting time to be witnessing this. Why your body, how might this start to show up? You are the person who has symptoms and is doing all the right things, and your list of to-do gets longer. The list of foods you can and cannot tolerate gets longer, and symptoms are not really resolving, and there is a hardship to the days or to figuring out how to move through your days. So, or why your body may not feel like it's responding anymore, even though you're doing all of the right things. So, I want to talk about something I see constantly in my clientele, especially those in my online community and in my one-on-one work who are hitting this midlife thing. Yeah, it's a sandwich generation. They call us that for a reason, because there's a lot on our plate, in addition to a lot of hormonal shifts going on, in addition to we're living at a time where it's like there's a height of many things being asked of us, expected of us, and being told we're not doing it right, or we're doing too much, or we're doing it wrong, or what have you. And I contribute to that conversation. But I want to be clear here for a minute. This is all of these symptoms that we're feeling. I certainly have some histamine symptoms on occasion, and some adrenal issues going on, especially when I don't sleep through the night. But I want to identify this is not because of a lack of effort that we may be struggling with these symptoms. It's also not that we're ignoring our health why these things start to show up. It's potentially that your system is a bit tired of being managed, potentially. This is one of the ways I see it. Not all of my clients have this, but a lot of people who have histamine and mast cell issues, and I count myself in this because I see this. My colleague Tracy over at Histamine Haven and I often have these discussions of like, what are some of the common trends we see? What are the common personality types that we see in our one-on-one work, in the online community, in the Good Food Network, in Histamine Haven, and these kinds of places? And we tend to see the person who's tracking everything, who is paying attention to everything and noticing micro changes in their skin, their hair, their hormones, their mood, how they're moving through the day. Or they've got their list of things and they're doing the more and the more and the more things that's on the to-do list. They're optimizing things, they're doing the supplements, they're tweaking things, they're life hacking their way, they're correcting things. So, okay, if we're going to go through those words, track, optimize, tweaked, corrected, fixing, those are all assuming you're broken. What if you're not broken? What if it's not something to fix? Like really, at a certain point, your body's going to stop responding to more input, and not because it's stubborn, but maybe potentially because it's overwhelmed. It's overwhelmed with the to-do pieces, with the daily things, with the, am I getting all my nutrients? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Am I doing all these things? And one of the things that I wanted to introduce, I would like to reframe this conversation. I'd like to reframe this conversation in a way where the way that I word it with my clients is, I call it, we create biochemical safety. And we do that in the body before we start bringing in strategies. Because your biochemistry is going to respond to safety if you do that piece first before you start introducing the to-do lists and the strategies. If we support the natural biochemistry, you're going to need a lot less strategies. So we have to build biochemical safety in the body. And the part that I want to make clear here, yeah, of course, I work in nutrition. I think for sure there's nutrients that have a part to play in biochemistry. But biochemistry is a lot more driven by context. The context and how you're moving through your day, how you're managing the day, and how you're managing the information coming in the to-do pieces. And so many of us are overwhelmed right now because there is a ridiculous influx and abundance of information flowing in. We have ChatGPT at our fingertips, Google before that. We have all of the social media people posting things and trying to grab your attention and to grab your dollars. I'm no saint in that department. This is what I do for a living. So of course I'm going to talk about these things. You wouldn't ask a heart surgeon to do heart surgery for free. Anyway. But here's what I mean by driven by context. So the state of your nervous system, in particular in this case, this is my favorite hot topic for me, is the whole stress response. I've been talking about it for 2 years and I will never stop talking about it. I think I'm really actually here on earth to help people reduce the stress. Anyway, the state of your nervous system will do different things in the body and will drive hormone signaling. So if your nervous system is in a safe, calm, chilled, relaxed place, it's going to drive hormone signaling that communicates this. If your nervous system is stuck in the, I got to do more, I got to be more, I'm not enough, I got to fix this, I'm broken, I got to tweak, I got to biohack, I got to optimize, I got to more, your nervous system state is going to drive the hormone signaling that says, we need to grab things because we are living in a time of not enough. We don't have enough resources. We are going to run out. We are living in a, yeah. And that is not what's happening in nature right now. This is part of what I hope you can understand is that the state of your nervous system is going to drive hormone signaling that's going to send the message to your body of what it needs to be ready for. And in the context of who I serve, there's so much of this gathering of information piece, and I feed that in some of the ways that I do my classes. But that's not where the solutions are. They're not in the gathering of information. The solutions are in the simplifying of your days. When you simplify your days, you start to actually change the nervous system state, which now changes that hormone signaling. And, if the hormones are signaling the stress response, when that's happening, now you start to impinge on a bunch of different things down the line, like digestion starts to get overridden. Your immune system starts to get hypersensitive or on high alert a little bit more than it needs to. Your microbiome gets shifted. There's a lot of things that get shifted the more you're triggering this stress response. And what this does is it triggers inflammation, which is great. I don't think inflammation is bad. I think a lot of people think, oh no, I don't want inflammation. Wait a second. Don't get mad. Do you know that inflammation is your body's response to doing repair? I don't, if you need repair, I want you to be able to turn it on. I just don't want you to have to turn it on all of the time because inflammation is not a failure. It is your body building a protective detail. So now we need to ask, okay, why? How much is being driven by our own perception and how we are moving through the days ourselves with the state of our nervous systems? I'm a fan of imagery, and I think this is going to help identify this or kind of make it a little bit more clear for you. You cannot remodel a house while the fire alarm is going off. And, I don't know where you are, but I'm 53 and I am in the throes of perimenopause. I am in this transition period of my life where there's a lot going on with the generations. Our daughter is a lot more self-sufficient. She's still our daughter and still very much a part of our lives. My parents are aging and have health issues, and that is a massive big stressor. And siblings are going through some health things as well. And all of us are all trying to do our best going through a time where are you paying attention to 2026 and 2025 before that? Yeah, this stage of our life, these midlife points, is when so many of us, we're going back to that analogy. It's like we're trying to renovate the house while we're still trying to put out the fires. The fire alarm's going off all day long. And we're trying to renovate. How do you renovate a house when there's a fire going on? Oh my God, it's exhausting just thinking about it. So these symptoms, what might these symptoms be that tell us that you're doing renovations when the fire is going off? Are you constantly chasing things? And are you doing more and more to address these symptoms, but your symptoms are actually ramping up? Like you've got more histamine things. You react sooner. You're having more flares more often. When they come, they're even worse. Do you have blood sugar issues? Are they getting worse these days? Do you get hangry and rangy and cannot tolerate big emotions as the day goes by, whereas 4 months ago you could? Is your sleep affected? Are you having a hard time sleeping through the night? Are you getting incomplete sleep? Are you waking up more often? Do you now wake up to pee where you didn't? How's your thyroid doing? How are those numbers when you go get your blood checked? Do you have inflammation, chronic pain that moves around from place to place? Those kinds of things are all symptoms our body is saying that the house is on fire. We're doing renovations. So I want to talk a little bit about the potential hidden costs of doing more. And in all of this, I hesitated putting this piece into today's presentation because I feel like uh, so much of the work of being human right now is an actually de-escalating war talk. And there is this fine line to walk here. And what I want to present here is with the increase in symptoms, if you're struggling with this, because this is what I'm seeing in my clients, most people respond to this increase in symptoms or an increase in severity or frequency of their symptoms by adding. Okay, well, I've got this and I was already eating this low inflammatory diet. I was doing this. I cut these foods out. Now I need to cut more out. Maybe I need more supplements. Now I got a food sensitivity test. So now do I need, I can't eat these foods. Do I supplement? Will I still have enough calcium? What else do I need? And how can I? And it's like a moving piece of like a Jenga puzzle. Like you pulled one piece out and how do you make up for that piece that's fallen out? And it's a really rickety tower at this point. You do more supplements, you do another rule or another protocol. And it's not going to resolve your symptoms. This is the part that's really difficult to talk about. And I feel like I'm on that bandwagon of like, if I didn't care about your feelings, this is how I would tell you that they're doing on social media these days. This is what I would tell you if I didn't care about your feelings on how you blah, blah, blah. And they talk about their niche. But yeah, when you have this increase in symptoms, the knee-jerk reaction right now is to add more supplements, add another rule, add another protocol, do more, be more. And that's coming from a place of lack. What if we switch it around? What if instead you bring in downshifting? Like, okay, downshifting what do I mean here? Okay, adding without downshifting the biochemistry going on, ramping up and adding more, more, more. This is going to create more biochemical noise, and your body cannot hear the signal. And sometimes the most supportive thing that you can do for your biochemistry in the body is to actually remove urgency. And part of the secret of removing urgency is to do small, consistent steps that are really boring, that when those pieces are put in place, they actually down-regulate some of the stress response. It removes that sense of urgency. You find yourself doing less, and now your capacity to tolerate and handle increases so that you can bring some of those foods back in, so that you can have less frequency of those symptoms. And it's not in adding more that you can address those symptoms, it's in letting go and in simplifying your days, in being consistent with small, really seemingly like nothings and simplifying the noise. And that's the work that I help with. What if you created conditions as opposed to control? What if you created conditions? How differently could this let you into the door? I think this would be, if you're creating conditions instead of control, this is, you're not fixing, you're not forcing anything. You're merely working at creating conditions. You're building a foundation with the possibility. A foundation can have anything on top of it that's going to build on top of it. And we're not fixing mud plastering the walls to try to keep the house held up that's really built on a shaky foundation. We're just building a foundation. We're creating conditions for everything to be solid from the ground up. And some of those really unsexy, consistent pieces are just that: consistency, predictability, gentle rhythm. Another thing I do with clients is we reduce the decisions you have to make fewer decisions, give you time for rest and recovery, make sure there's pockets of that in your day, and bring in some of those inputs that are supportive as opposed to corrective ones. And instead of coming at it from above, we're coming at it from below and creating those conditions so that you can thrive from there as opposed to being controlled this way. When your nervous system can settle, the biochemistry will follow. That's the secret to know. So I want to give you an invitation to try a little signal of safety. This is one that I do, that I talk about often in the work that I do with clients and what I'll do in the online community as well, and in my GoodFood network. Okay, we're going to lower the demand. This is one of the ways I think of it. So I want you to, in your chair, if you're watching this right now, I want you to sit back. I don't want you to be leaning forward. I want you to sit back in your chair. And really on your sit bones, feel your sits bones as if you're at a yoga class, yeah? Okay, and I want you to feel those too, and I want you to then draw a line from your hips down through your knees, down to your feet, into the ground, with your 2 feet solidly on the ground. Put your hands on your knees, and then drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. And I want you to do a breath. You're going to breathe in and count how many counts it takes to get your breath in. And then I want your exhale to be longer than the time you breathed in. So I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I breathed in for 4 and I breathed out for 10. Do it once on your own. And do it one more time. This is biochemical support. This is creating conditions. When you do this, what do you notice? Notice how your body is responding to this. I'm noticing my voice is lower. My heart beating has slowed down. I don't feel I have to hold myself up. I can comfortably sit like this for another hour. And I just feel like, okay, I've had an out breath, right? Do you remember like how you'd feel when you were finally able to go outside at recess and you're like, oh my God, finally, I don't have to hold it all together. Yeah, that's what it feels like. So that's the kind of thing that you can bring into your day at any point. How I talk about it with clients is, can you bring these in at least once between meals, if not twice? Do you want to put a timer on every 90 minutes on your phone? If it starts to be too much that you have to think about or schedule, then we're taking away from what it is we're supposed to do. When you catch yourself, where can you do this in breath, out breath, just picturing your legs solidly into the ground, pulling yourself up from your spine, dropping your shoulders, and doing that breath. Anybody who works at a desk can do this 2 times between your breakfast and your lunch break, at least. Yeah. And every time you do this, you're down regulating that stress response and you're actually supporting that nervous system. And that's how we're building that foundation. You're creating that condition in order to allow the nervous system to then just be a little bit off its stress response. So I want to draw your attention to something I'm doing this month. I'm doing a class called SOS Stress. This is going to be a 2-hour class we're doing sort of mid-month. This is going to be for the people who are exhausted from trying to manage your body. We're going to be doing this 2-hour class as a little bit of an exploration on the role that stress can play on your biochemistry. And then seeing this as a chance for a reset or a recalibration. So we're going to talk about how chemistry impacts your body's function, the biochemistry of your body and your metabolism, why that's important. We're going to be addressing how this can change everything else when you start to address that stress response. And we're going to do it just through practical things. We'll dive into some of the why and the science there, but then we'll get into, but this is how you do it. And they're going to be small, seemingly unsexy things that will not cost you extra. That will be, oh, if I put these pieces in place, I'm going to start to see a difference. So this isn't about doing more for your health. This is going to be about making what you are doing work better for you and really simplifying and clearing some of the excess around what it is that your days are like. Now, that's one of the things I'm doing this month. And we're doing it in the Good Food Network. So if you're in the Good Food Network, you'll have access to that class. But in the Good Food Network, we do a little bit more. So the network is this ongoing support kind of place. Some women will start with the class and then eventually come and join us into the Good Food Network. Some of my former clients come and join us in the Good Food Network because it serves as that place to have the touchstone reminders of, hey, we're in this season. Let's start working on this. Oh, let's now go on and move to this topic. And we're in a new season. Let's work on this topic. And each time you find, oh, yeah, I remember we talked about that. Oh, yeah, I want to work on that. That's a new piece I didn't know about, huh? And you start to dive deeper. So it's an exploration place to understand a little bit more of your biochemistry. And so you can become an advocate and you can know some of those very unsexy, steady pieces you can do. And this is for the people who are looking for ongoing support, ongoing rhythm, and that consistency piece, help with that consistency piece. So it's a place to practice regulation and building and creating those conditions we were just talking about. It's also a place where it's supportive. You can pick and choose what it is you need. And if you need more, I give you coupons so you can take those pieces for more if you want. And then you get them for free. Yeah, it's a place where health feels doable. And we're actually clearing away a lot of the cobwebs and we're just putting the basics on the table for this purpose of revisiting and reintegrating those very simple pieces on how to create those conditions in your life so your metabolism and your biochemistry can work better. And the deal with all of this is that I'm always updating the content. It's always there's a new session each week. Each time I run it, it's a brand new session. This is so you don't have to figure things out alone. You don't have to do research. You don't have to hold all of the pieces. But what you can do is you could take a little peek with me behind the scenes of what it is we're doing in the Good Food Network. Because I'm nothing if not, well, will it surprise you to know that I did a degree in theater design. And so I like to have things laid out so that it's easy for you to follow. So in the month of January and in February, this is going to be our focus in the Good Food Network. It's going to be the nervous system as a foundation for metabolic health. And it's everything we're doing in the month of January and February. We're going to be talking about nervous system and everything that has to do with the brain, the biochemistry there, the nerves as well, our perception of things as well. It's not December, it's January. I forgot to change that. And we're doing it through, we have a live session every week in the network. So we come at it from a couple of different ways. This week, we're doing a session on how the nervous system drives your metabolic health. Metabolic health is everything to do with energy output. And energy crisis is actually the biggest driver of a lot of our symptoms, including histamine and many other things. In the second week, we'll be talking about brain energy and the stress response and what kind of nutrients you might want to focus on to make sure that we are providing all that your brain and your nervous system will need to help keep that stress response down regulated. In our third week, we're going to talk about the role of play and joy in nervous system health. Very important piece. There are fart jokes all the time for that very purpose. Our final week in the month of January, we'll be talking about neurotransmitters and why this is such an important piece of driving some of our stress response in particular, and what we can do to support that to work better. And then, of course, if you're in the Good Food Network, you're going to get access to our 2-hour live class, that SOS stress class I was just talking about. But you can take the class by itself if you prefer just that. We also, as bonuses, when you join us in the Good Food Network, we have 5 new recipes each month, and they're always in season. And eating in season is one of the biggest secrets in actually supporting your biochemistry to work well. So I like to give you ideas in each season to make it something very much of the season to support that biochemistry. This month, 2 of the recipes we have a Vietnamese noodle bowl that is on offer. We also have a how to start your own sourdough starter. That was part of the recipes this month. We also have a weekly food challenge, and I put it up today. What was it today? Seaweed. And so we talk about how seaweed can be a really great food to support your nervous system. We give you ideas on how to maybe think about incorporating it into your days. I shared a homemade furikake recipe, so you can make your own little yummy thing. We also have a whole module on seasonal eating and why that's so important. There's a whole bundle of recipes in there as well to keep it on this winter theme and how we're looking after the rest and recovery in this season. We also, when you join us in the Good Food Network, you will have access to a class called The Burden of Stress. And these are some of the outlined goals in that class. It's a week-long class where you get a daily video. And when you're ready for it, you can sign up for it. And it's all included in the cost. There's no extra cost to it. It's kind of an extra addendum for the person who's wanting to delve a little bit deeper into understanding external stress, internal stress, emotional stress. Why is this driving my symptoms? And how do I start getting at putting the pieces in place to reduce that stress response? It's all through the nervous system, pal. Yeah. Fun times. So everything that we do in the Good Food Network is on replay. You do not need to attend live, but you can. We do Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. rather. We also do Wednesday at 9 a.m. typically. You get immediate access upon registration when you join us in the Good Food Network. Everything we've done live up until that day you get access to. And it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as soon as you join us. Doors are open. So, little reminder to end things with today. Health does not come from collecting answers, but from practicing actions. And that's what the Good Food Network serves as that place to help you create those conditions. All right, that's enough of that. Stop sharing keynote. Why will you not? There, let me. Sometimes my computer doesn't respond well. So that's it. That's all. That's a little bit of a behind the scenes of what we're doing in the Good Food Network this month and what I'm doing over here at Good Food and You. If your body feels like it needs more relief, more than instruction, or if you're ready for support that really works with your physiology, as opposed to asking more of you, then I invite you to join us either in the SOS stress class or to step into the Good Food Network and see us in that space. There's a group chat in there. There's lots of different pieces. You don't need another strategy. You really just need to create those conditions. So if you need help with that, I'd love to be your ally. A couple of different ways to do it this month. And they will be wherever you're watching this video, links below the video if you're on YouTube. Go back to your email if this came to you in an email. Or if you're in the Good Food Network already, yeah, thumbs up. If you're already in the Good Food Network, you get double thumbs up, actually. I don't know how to turn those things off. I think it's hilarious. Thanks for joining me on this Monday, January 5th. I'm sure glad to be landing in your inbox or your YouTube feed, however it may show up for you. And I wish you a delicious 2026 ahead. May you have many cups of tea and lots of capacity for creating the right conditions you need for your body to have that out breath. I'll see you down the line. Salut, à bientôt.